Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live session. Good evening, and thank you for joining today. For those who are joining me for the first time, my name is Rahul Trimukhe. I am a Microsoft 365 and Azure consultant, working extensively with SharePoint, SPFX, React, Azure, Power Platform, and Azure DevOps related stuffs. And I'm also an AZ204 Microsoft certified Azure developer and a Safe 6 certified practitioner. Along with the consulting, I actively focus on knowledge sharing through my platform called ShareTech. You can see on the screen we have shared. At ShareTech, our goal is very simple to build a strong tech community where developers and consultants can learn, share real world experience, and grow together. We regularly publish technical articles, Microsoft updates, and practical solutions based on real project scenarios. I also want to quickly mention something exciting we are currently running, the ShareTech article writing challenge. Let me just scroll down. I guess Nikhil Patil has written some article, and here we are. Okay. No, this is about our event. Let me just come here. ShareTech article write challenge. Okay. So this challenge is all about encouraging you to share your knowledge, write about what you have learned, and get recognized by the community. I would really love your support and participation in making this a big community-driven event. So uh, do check it out on our site and after this session. Now coming back to today's workshop, I'm really excited because we are going to talk about something very practical and highly relevant for developers, consultant, product owners, and scrum teams. Most teams still create user stories manually, understand requirements, drafting them, refining them multiple times, and finally copying everything into Azure DevOps. After that, a lot of time again goes into breaking stories into tasks and fixing gaps, and a lot of confusion will get created later, right? So testers, QA will say that we're not able to understand the user story acceptance criteria and all. So today I'll be showing you how we can use Copilot agents and AI capabilities to automate user stories creation in Azure DevOps. From understanding a requirement, generating and refining the user story uh, to uh, to creating it directly inside Azure DevOps. This is not a theory session. This is a live hands-on workshop where I'll be building and demonstrating a Copilot agent in real time. Before we move ahead, a small request: subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated with upcoming workshops and Microsoft related content. So this is our YouTube channel. We'll just go to ShareTech. Okay, so you can just subscribe to this channel to keep yourself updated, and also bookmark the ShareTech site, our website, and subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss important updates and community events. So anyone if publish any updates, right? So if you will be subscribed to this newsletter, you'll be getting an email notification, and like you can have easy access to the articles published on this particular platform. Okay, and follow our ShareTech LinkedIn page to support our work and help us reach more people in the community. So this is our ShareTech community page. There is a glitch I can see in LinkedIn. Since 2 days, this blank white box is coming up. Maybe this live session will help them understand and then fix. It will get fixed soon. Hope so. Okay. So yeah, your support really helps us keep creating and sharing quality content. Okay, so all right, let's get started and dive into the problems we are solving today. Let me just close this window for now. Okay, so yes. So before jumping into the demo, let me quickly walk you through today's agenda so you know exactly what we are going to cover in the session. First, I will give you a quick and clear understanding of what Microsoft Copilot agents are and how they are different from just using ChatGPT or Copilot as a chat experience. Next, we will talk about Microsoft Copilot Studio, what it is, why Microsoft introduced it, and where it fits in the overall Copilot ecosystem. And after that, we will move into the hands on part where I'll be creating a fresh Copilot agent from scratch, integrating a few Azure DevOps connectors, configuring the agent to work with the user story related scenarios, and finally testing the live agent to see how it generates and create a user story in Azure DevOps. By the end of the session, you will have a very clear picture of how you can start building similar agents in your own projects. So yeah, all right, let's start with the basics. And if you have any questions, please send it in the chat. And if you have any questions, queries, anything, right, just feel free to add in into the chat, and I'll try to clarify your doubts. Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's move on and understand what is. Let me close this as well. And okay, give me a second and I will come up with this screen, and let's open this Copilot Studio for now. I'll be using this. Oops. Let me use this account. Okay, just allow me a minute. Uh, okay, here we are. I will open the Copilot Studio. So this is the URL you can use to open Copilot Studio. There are again two types of agents that we can build. One is Agent Builder, which will be available inside your M365 Copilot. Let me just open this in new video. Okay. Okay. So this is the M365 agents that you can build. Okay. You can just click on create and then specify the required information, and then your agent will be ready for the development. But for the scope of this session, we are not covering this agent builder agent. Maybe in next video, we will work on this particular one. Okay. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. So yeah, most of us are already familiar with Copilot as a chat assistant, and you ask a question and it gives you an answer. But a Copilot agent is much more than that. A Copilot agent is like a purpose-built AI assistant. Focus on the purpose-built AI assistant word. And instead of just responding to questions, it can follow a specific workflow, ask the right follow-up questions, connect to systems like Azure DevOps, SharePoint, your OneDrive, and actually perform actions like sending an email notification, not just generate text. So, in simple terms, Copilot agent understands context, instructions, data, actions. That's exactly what it is perfectly for scenarios like user story creation, where structure and consistency are very important. Think of it like this: instead of manually creating user stories every time, we train an agent to understand how we want stories to be written and where they should be created. What is Microsoft Copilot Studio? Now let's talk about Microsoft Copilot Studio, because this is where all the magic actually happens. Copilot Studio is a low code platform provided by Microsoft that allows us to build, customize, and manage Copilot agents. You don't need to write complex code to get started. Most of the work is configuration driven. Using Copilot Studio, you can create a new Copilot agent, define its behavior and instructions, connect it with external systems like Azure DevOps, SharePoint, OneDrive, or any external APIs that you have, control what data it can access, and test everything in a SIP environment before rolling it out. The biggest advantage ever is to control and governance the data information that you have. Instead of using AI in an uncontrolled way, Copilot Studio lets organizations define how AI should behave, what it can do, and what it should not do. For today's session, we will be using Copilot Studio to build an agent that understands user story requirements and work directly with Azure DevOps. So now that we understand what Copilot agents are and what Copilot Studio is used for, it's time to move from theory to practice. And in this next step, I'll create a brand new Copilot agent from scratch, connect it with Azure DevOps, and start testing it live. So let's jump into Copilot Studio and start building. So before that, if you have any questions, let me know in comments. Okay, just give me a second and I'll be here with you. Mm, We close this up. Clear. And I'm just trying to open the screen. Okay. So yeah, this is the side panel you can see over here. Okay, there are few options like home, agents, flows, and tools. Okay, to get start with creating an agents, you can come here in the agent from home screen. Also, like you can start with giving instructions and create your agent. You can find options for here as well. Now, recently Microsoft has introduced this workflow option. Okay, so let's create an agent. I'll just click on this and then the magic starts. Okay, so this is the configuration screen we can see where we can specify the name of the agent, purpose of the agent, and okay, now our agent is ready. Let's give this name of this agent as ADO assist. Maybe you can choose an icon. Let me choose some icon over here. Okay, superb. Here you can choose the model your agent will be using. Okay, so I'll be choosing this 5.1 ChatGPT. Uh, it's 5 actually, not 5.1. Sorry for that. Okay, so here the main brain will come for our agent where we will be writing the instructions. And just give me and we will be using a markdown approach, okay, which will be easy for our agent to understand what it going to do. So we will be saying that Azure DevOps item creation agent. Okay, we will just give a name. I missed here. Yeah. Before that, we can provide some description to this agent, like create well structured work items, like user stories, bugs, tasks in Azure DevOps by gathering requirements and automating creation. Also helps users retrieve existing work items as per their request. Okay. Requests. Okay. So I'll be just correcting this. Okay, we are set with the description, name, model selection, and we will get start with writing instructions. Okay, so let's do one thing. I already have instructions written. Okay, let's not spend more time. Maybe we will walk you through the instructions, what it has, what it's there, and how it's configured. Okay, these are the instructions we already written. Okay, so this agent is for creating work items in Azure DevOps. So the purpose behind this agent is to create well-structured work items like user stories, bugs, tasks in Azure DevOps. Um by gathering requirements and automating automation also help users retrieve existing work items as per their request. And the core process are like work item retrieval, retrieving the work items from Azure DevOps when user requests to get list find work items. And it, the agent will ask for the organization and project name and use a get work items connector with appropriate filter. Work item type needs to be specified, like whether it is user story, bug, or task based on user request. The state filters will also help our agent to get a specific filtered work item. Assign to filters if specified, that is also helpful. And area path iterations filters if specified, present results in clear organized format, provide direct links to work items. So while generating the response, right, these are the instructions we have given to our agent to take care while retrieving the information from the Azure DevOps and presenting it in front of the user. Okay, it should be well structured in good format. Okay, and next is like work item creation. Uh, we have given these instructions to determine which type of work item it is, like user wants to create, whether it is user story, bug, or task. So for user stories, we will be just collecting like title, which will be like clear, concise work item title, descriptions of the user story, which should be complete, which should be having a complete details, including persona format, as a person want which goal needs to be performed, so that how it benefits. So all requirements, scopes, exclusions will be mentioned. Next, acceptance criteria, which should be specific, testable criteria, which will help our QA team for testing. And also priority, you can mention, or our agent can also predict the priority as per the context of the content generated. All other informations like scope, exclusion, technical details must be included in description. So we won't be having a specific section in our Azure DevOps to include this, right? So those information has to be mentioned inside the description only. For bugs, we have also given instructions to collect retro steps. Okay, it is not available for steps. And for bugs and task, we have instructed our agent to check if user provided parent work item ID, or if context indicates a parent. So the critical one which we have highlighted to our agent, to convert Markdown to HTML format for Azure DevOps compatibility. So in case the response was generated in the format of Markdown, right? So it has to be get converted to HTML format and get it stored in Azure DevOps. So the look will come up correctly. So it will not show you the Markdown content on the user story. Okay. So these are the formats that you have mentioned, and some other. I will not walk you through everything inside the instructions, like around. Let me save this now. Okay, we are ready with the instructions. So what we're gonna do now is like we'll start creating our tools. Let's connect our Azure DevOps connectors. So you can just come to this tool section, add a tool. So here you can find a section with Azure DevOps connectors. Click on that. So the first tool that we need is like list organizations. First, we need to find which organization user wants to create an user story, right? So let's configure this first. So this is the account where it is connected. Okay, add and configure. Okay, the tool is added. We don't need to do any changes over there. Okay, so this is enough. Let's go back. Nations and list projects. Let's add one more tool. List projects. Where is that? It's here. Okay. We have added a list of projects as well. Let's add one more tool for list iterations. We need to decide in which iteration that particular work item needs to get stored, right? So for that, we need this particular connector. Where is that? It's here. List iterations. Okay, let me explain. Here we have provided a name for that particular tool, descriptions. So we don't need to change anything, as pre-default information is enough for us. In the next section, we can see which connector it is using, Azure DevOps list iterations, and the connection name, and then available to ADO assist. This agent name will come over here, and in additional details, when this tool may be used. Okay, so it can be used independently, um, only for this particular agent, or like wherever it is needed, right? Like only for topic, if you are dealing with the topic, creating some topics, and inside that only you wanted to make use of that particular tool, so that you can configure it over here. Okay, and ask end user before running, like if any instructions that you want to give to the user before connecting, right? So some recommendation if we have that, you can specify Uh, so you can control over here like whether the action uses credentials you provided or the end user credentials will be used. Okay, some description, some information that you want to pass to users for this authentication you can specify, and what kind of inputs that you need to capture, right, to get that particular information. So this is the get connector that we are using, so that's why this add input option is disabled. So in case if you are working on like create operation, that time you need to specify which information that you want to pass on to get it updated or stored. Okay, so here to get list iterations we need three parameters, values for organization name, project name, team name, that we need to pass. Then we will get all the iterations in that particular project. Okay, so and if you see over here, like field using dynamically with field with AI. So what it will do is like in the context, in the chat context, if you already have those information like organization name, project name, team's name, so that will get filled up over here. Okay, so you don't need to manually provide this information. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's go. And we have created three tools as of now, and then we need let's add get work item details. Item, not children, actually. Get work item details, connectors. Okay, this is also set up correctly. Go to the tools, and then lastly we need a tool to create work items. So here we need to specify. Okay, let me create this tool. Okay, we are good with this information. So here, if you see, right, we we need to pass organization name, project name, work item type, and the title. In addition to that, we need to pass description as well, priority of the user story, iteration path, area path, and other fields like here you don't find that acceptance criteria, right? So that acceptance criteria field will come under this other fields and will get updated in your Azure DevOps, like efforts that you wanted to get it stored, or like story points that you have, right? So those details will get stored in this other fields and then stored in your Azure DevOps. Okay, let's get this saved. Okay, so now we are ready with the tools that we need. Let's go to the overview. Just give me a second. So what we're gonna do is like we will be replacing this uh, information with the actual connector that we have just now created it. And here get work item details. Use this one over here and list projects, list iterations. Okay. List organization tool, present all options. Wait for user selection. For project selection, we use list projects, list iterations. Okay. Superb. And area path project name. So this is the area path that we will be configuring. So in my Azure DevOps, I have kept the area path in this format. The project name slash team's name will comes up. Okay. And once we get the final confirmation from the user, creating this in the work item, create only after confirmation, create a work item, use this create work item. This we will get replaced with the work item connector with actual content. Okay. Yes. So we are done with the setup. Okay. And let's get tested. Let's get it tested. Okay. So what I gonna do is I'll be passing this prompt to create a user story in Azure DevOps. So I want to build an SPFX web part for SharePoint Online. It should show items from SharePoint list and allow user to search and filter the data. Please write a simple user story explaining who will use it, what problems it solves, and what the final result should look like. Okay. So if you see over here, our agent has started building a draft user story. So he has given some title, some descriptions, and he has also generated some acceptance criteria, and he has predicted the priority high for this particular user story. And he's waiting for further inputs from the user, like, would you like me to proceed with creating this as a work item in Azure DevOps, or do you want to refine the user story further before we move on? Okay, so what we're gonna do, like, we will give some more instructions to the agent to refine this user story. Please improve the user story you just wrote, make it very clear and easy to understand, remove anything confusing, and clearly explain what is included and what is not. Okay. If you see over here, the agent has refined the first draft and given us the updated one. Okay. And then later we will say, like, whatever the generated user story, right? So we will ask our agent to read this user story and tell me if anything is missing. Think about permissions, large list, performance, mobile view, and common SharePoint issues. Keep it short and practical. Okay, let's see. Okay, so these are the points which are not covered in the user story. Okay, generated draft user story. So he's asking us, would you like me to update the user story to include this consideration? Okay, let me give this approval to our agent and ask him to give the full updated user story now. Okay, he has covered everything now. Okay, now we are done with the changes and the user story looks good to me. Okay, so he has covered permission part as well, and is asking a confirmation, like, would you like me to proceed with creating this as a work item in Azure DevOps, or do you want to make any final refinements before we move forward? So I'm good, and let me give the confirmation, proceed with creating this as a work item in Azure DevOps. Okay, he's asking me to connect to the Azure DevOps. Okay, as we are using external connectors, right? So every time, first time user will get this particular approval window. Okay, once you click on allow, it will connect to your Azure DevOps, and in this screen right here, this area, you will find which trigger is going is getting triggered, and what information that we are passing and what output we are getting. So these are the two organizations I have in my test tenant. I'll be selecting dev share tech. Okay. So the next, he found only one project inside this organization. Okay. Now he's asking me to choose a team inside this particular organization and project. We have passed this as an input, and then we received this information from the backend where I belong to. So here our user story is created. Let's open it in Azure DevOps and see. Okay, you can see here the title is SPFX web part for displaying and filtering SharePoint list items. He has captured it correctly. The description of the user story, which says, as a SharePoint online user, I want a web part built using SPFX that displays items from specific SharePoint list and allow me to search and filter the data so that I can quickly find the information I need without leaving the page. So this web part should contain this much of specified information, and this is the acceptance criteria which we are looking for, and he has set priority high as in 1. Okay, so our user story is ready now, and the next step is like creating task in it. Okay, so what I'll ask, can you please create a task for initializing this SPFX solution to get started with the development. Okay, so let's create the, okay, L is missing here. Okay, let me correct that. Okay, what? Okay, so he has drafted a task for us. Okay, initialize this prefix solution for development. This is the description. This is the acceptance criteria, and he has predicted a priority as a 2. Okay, and the acceptance criteria, we won't be needing that. I guess this will throw an error. Maybe let's see. But we can say that we can remove the acceptance criteria. Can remove the acceptance criteria as we won't need, as we don't need that for task that capture the hours for the developments for this task. Okay, okay, here it has refined the generated task details. So the acceptance criteria is removed, and estimated efforts is also 4 hours. Okay, so okay, link it to the parent, use the same iteration, create, go ahead. Okay, the task is successfully created in Azure DevOps. Let's see. Okay, initializing SPFX solution for development, and set up the initial SPFX solution to begin development of the web part. So this includes installing the latest SPFX generator, creating a new SPFX project with the required framework like React, configuring the solution structure and dependencies, verifying the local workbench setup, committing the initial code to the repository. Okay, so whatever the needed things were there, right, for this task, it has been listed over here, and he has also added uh, original estimated effort as 4, and we are ready with the task. Okay, so similarly we can create all the required tasks from the Azure from this Copilot uh, agent itself. Okay, so now what we are good, and we are deployed that particular web part in production, and then our QA team deployed it in the UAT environment. Okay, where our QA team will be doing testing, and they wanted to raise a bug for that. Okay, so can you please create a bug as the SPFX web part is not loading on page load. Okay. Okay. Here is the draft our agent has created. SPFX web part not loading on page load. This failed to load when the page is initially opened. User see a blank area where the web part should appear. So steps also he has added. You can change as per your need. Navigate to the page where the SPFX web part is added, refresh or open the page, observe the web part does not render, and what is the expected result, actual result. Okay, and the priority and estimated hours. And this looks good to me, and I'll give the approval over here, and let's see. Super. We are ready with the bug as well. Now the bug has been raised and created in our Azure DevOps. So what if I wanted to understand about this user story? Okay. Can you please retrieve an user story from Azure DevOps whose ID is 54 and summarize it for me in easy words. Okay. Okay. Here you need to select the organization name, the project name. We have already mentioned user story, so the intent has been predicted, and then he has retrieved this information. Okay, all the information about the user story is here with us. Okay. Okay, so yeah, here we have successfully created our agent, and it's working as expected. Okay, next is like, let's publish this agent. Once we published, we need to get it deployed on the required platform. So we will go and deploy it into Teams and Microsoft 365 Copilot. So you have to click on this add channel option first, and then the option will get enabled for us to get it configured correctly, and then it will be available to use. Okay, so available options are here, like show my teammates and shared users, show everyone in my organizations. We can choose this one. So only me and my team members can see this particular application. Okay, share tech team. So all users who will be part of this particular organization, okay, will be able to access this particular agent. Okay, you can also decide whether there will be viewers or no permission unless specified. Update. Okay, let's close this now. Go to the channel again, and you can see this in the Teams. Let me open it in the. Okay, once you click over there, you'll get an option to get it added in your Teams. As we haven't given permission, right? So it's not allowing us to use in Teams. Let me open it in here. Okay, so here the agent got added in MS Teams. So we will be doing the same thing. What we gonna do is here we won't be doing everything, but we will just ask our agent to retrieve this particular user story. Okay, let me select this. Please provide the name of the organization. Okay, so as we haven't given instruction, right, while getting the um, user story details, we should be calling this specific tools. Okay, we have configured the instructions only for create work item. Okay, so that's why it's asking us to provide this information. Okay, but let me do one thing. Let me just copy this, paste it for here. I don't know why. Okay, please provide the name of the project. Sure, okay. Allow. Okay, here we can see the user story details from the Azure Radio. Okay, so you can brainstorm with the with this agent. You can list down the task. Okay, whatever the operation that you want to perform with that particular user story, right? You can do it. You can create your own user stories. You can add task into it. So yeah, this is all about from my